Hello and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I've made a video, but I do plan on rectifying this. I've just been quite busy with regular life. But please do subscribe and like if you do enjoy the content. It actually really helps motivate me to keep doing this. So I do really appreciate all the likes and people subscribing to this channel. Going forward, I really want to make videos about, like, give an update about the sectors that I was very bullish on. Like, let's take example offshore. I think offshore has been doing amazingly well. I'm so happy with how that thesis has played out. And to be honest, even though I'm up around 100% on most of my positions, I think it's way too early in this cycle to start thinking about profits. I think there's quite a long runway for offshore. So I'm really happy how that's going. But of course, we will cover that in more depth in another video. So this video, actually, I want to talk about the Bitcoin miners. Am I still bullish on the Bitcoin miners? How do I see them progressing? How do I see this whole thesis playing out? So firstly, I've made many videos about Bitcoin miners like this one and this one and this one, right? Thesis played out exactly how I predicted in these videos. So let's understand firstly that the miners are a derivative play on Bitcoin, or you can think of them as a option on Bitcoin. So they're extremely leveraged, and we actually saw this very well, like in this time period. Like for example, Wolf, Iris Energy, I was only holding them for a few months and they were already 200%. CleanSpark was around like 150. Bitfarms was in there as well, around 80% or 100%, just in a few months since I was holding them. We were seeing like 10-20% days as Bitcoin was climbing up to 30k, and that time period really actually showcased what those Bitcoin miners can do when Bitcoin starts to run. And this actually, now in the last few months, we've seen the exact opposite. So when Bitcoin has started to decrease to like 25k, we can see the Bitcoin miners were getting destroyed. From 200%, I went down to like 50% on Wolf. Same for Iris, like 80%. CleanSpark, like back down to 50% as well, 40%. Bitfarms, the same, right? So this period really just showed exactly how the Bitcoin miners act. To the upside, they're extremely volatile, and to the downside, they're extremely volatile. But now, as we can see that they've pulled back massively, what do you actually do? What is my outlook? Like, do I regret not taking those profits? Yeah, of course, but I cannot time the market, and I'm not here to time the market. I've actually been adding to my positions as they decreased. Leveraged up is just because, firstly, it's a bit of FOMO. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of FOMO. Like, I saw how well these Bitcoin miners ran, and I'm thinking I didn't have enough invested to see like a substantial change in my lifestyle if I achieved, let's just say, a 5x. But I do feel like that was the right decision, and I will tell you exactly why I started to add to this position, and why I feel like if you did not get an allocation earlier in the year when I was making these videos, I feel like the market is giving you a second chance to actually get your allocation. Now, I'm just a guy in my room making this video. I actually don't know what's going on, and I'm not really in a position to give anyone advice, and I never would. So this is purely just what I think and what I'm doing. I don't tell anybody, and I bear no responsibility on anybody's decisions by watching this video, okay? So I want to tell you exactly why I'm bullish on the Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin miners is a derivative play on Bitcoin. So you cannot be bullish the miners if you are not bullish Bitcoin. And I myself am bullish Bitcoin. And I'll tell you exactly why. I have a few reasons. I'm just going to check on my phone as I made notes. Firstly, I believe that the risk and reward for Bitcoin is extremely good right now. So it's hovering around the 25k mark, right? Why I believe that 25k is a good entry point for Bitcoin. It could go lower, of course, but you may sound silly, but I feel like there is something to positivity, and there are so many, and manifestation, and there are so many people in this world that are putting so much energy into this magic number of 100k Bitcoin. And I feel like just the amount of energy that is going into this concept that Bitcoin just for that reason will hit 100k, because I just feel like people are manifesting that. And that might sound silly, but I feel like there's too many people that want Bitcoin at 100k. And also the thing is, I feel like Bitcoin has kind of proven itself. It's like it's been around for many cycles now, and there is 100% some very good use cases for Bitcoin. Use cases that really no other asset class can actually do, and that's like being unbanked, right? I think that's the strongest case for Bitcoin and why it won't go away and many people will be invested in it. So I believe that risk and reward is very good. Now, secondly, you have to imagine, why are so many institutions, like the biggest one being BlackRock, wanting an ETF on Bitcoin? Of course, they can create a fee, etc. But they notice that this asset class really has some legs and that there is so much demand for this asset class. Bitcoin ETF will get approved. And why is this? Well, BlackRock, like in total, they submitted 575 ETF requests, and they're only ever being rejected for one. So that is a success rate of 99.8%. So it's very likely that BlackRock, who basically own everything, will get this approved. So I believe this is also a one in a lifetime opportunity to see this expansive growth in Bitcoin, because just look what happened to the gold ETF when that was first launched, and look what happened to gold. And I feel like that's really going to open the floodgates for more people and more institutions to get into Bitcoin. So I'm very bullish on Bitcoin for those reasons. And then you have to ask yourself, how do you play this? Of course, you could actually pick up the Grayscale ETF, not ETF, but the trust. And that actually has done pretty well. It's already up 80% this year. And of course, you buy Bitcoin, right? I just buy Bitcoin as like, I imagine it as a savings. But secondly, it's like, how do you get the most leverage? Of course, the altcoins are going to pump if Bitcoin pumps. That's true. There's like hundreds and millions of altcoins, and 99% of them are scam, right? Okay, you could pick the like Ethereum or Chainlink or something like this, but I just want to bet purely on Bitcoin. And I understand, like with the miners, I'm still betting on like infrastructure and the management, etc. I understand this, but still, it's still a bet on Bitcoin. Like, how much could the management like mess up when you see Bitcoin at 50? It's like it's extremely hard for them to mess up. Of course, the halving is coming up, and that will play devil's advocate, let's say. So we're gonna see how that goes. But yeah, if we see Bitcoin after some of these miners half from now till the halving, let's say CleanSpark drops another 50%. If it hits my cost average, and if it goes down like 20-40% from my cost average, I will be loading up. I think this is a great opportunity to make a lot of money, and I think in a short time frame as well. I think 2 years, end of 2025, is going to be really the defining point of how this trade goes. Yeah, I will cover exactly the Bitcoin miners I am in the next video, but this was just like an overview of how I see Bitcoin miners and how I see them doing. Like I basically I expect them to be grinding lower until the halving, and after the halving I expect them to really take off.